The Honorable Terence Dayal Singh, Minister of Health and Acting Minister of Education, Principal of the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine Campus, Professor Brian Copeland, President and Chairman of Agency of the Tertiary Education Division of the Ministry of Education, Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the Board of Directors of MIC Institute of Technology, Clemmer Imber. I tried. CEO of MIC Institute of Technology, Mr. Anil Ramnarayan, members of MIC IT's executive and management team, Mrs. Hazel Manning, consultant and team lead of the leadership firm, other distinguished speakers, participants, other specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Special good morning to everyone. Good morning to the 5 of you, and to the rest of you, good morning again. I actually want to give special recognition to all our Form 3 students. When I hear potential, I like the idea. I asked Mr. Ramnarayan what was the heart behind it. And he said, you know, we want to make their school experience holistic and expose them to the future ahead and the professional environment of the work world. And I thought that that was very nice in this fact of thinking that these are our future leaders of tomorrow. So I really want you to put your hands together and appreciate all our Form 3 students. I want to begin by saying thank you to all our administrative professionals. Thank you for coming early and leaving late. Thank you for handling business even after work hours. Thank you for continuing sometimes with no thank you or appreciation. I nearly hear somebody say amen. You could say it, no problem. Thank you for working with the unique personality of your heads, your managers, and your leaders. Unique, I say. Thank you for handling all of those difficult phone calls when we did not want to answer them. Thank you. When I hear the word potential, I think of the seed. One author said, you can count the amount of seeds in an apple, but you cannot count the amount of apples in a seed. A seed holds a harvest within it, if it be placed in the right environment, if it be put in the right situation, if it be put in the right position. A seed can birth a harvest. Your life is a seed. And within you, from the very beginning, God hid greatness. I want you to take 10 seconds and look at the person right next to you and say, I sense greatness within you. If they did not smile, turn to the other person and tell the other person, I sense greatness within you. The late Dr. Miles Monroe said that the cemetery is one of the richest places on earth. He said the cemetery is the richest place on earth because there are many books that were never written, many buildings that were never built, many songs that were never written, many movies that were never done, many recipes that were never attempted. A lot of people go to the grave full of potential. Your goal at the end of life is that you should die empty. Die empty of the God-given potential that you possess. I want to give you 5 principles, and the reason I say principles is I believe that people attempt life without having a philosophy to win. And your philosophy determines everything you do. I think it's in the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. It says that your ways can be no wiser than your thoughts. Many times people bring teenagers and say, Luke, fix him, he's not behaving well. And I always look at parents and I hope that they know that you cannot adjust behavior without first adjusting thinking. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is. So you will never outdo your thoughts. You have to spend time to improve the way you think. I don't want you to go to the grave with potential. Young people, at the end of your life, you must die empty. How are you going to do that? You must discover the principles to unlock the greatness within. Give me 9 minutes to share 5 principles with you. Principles are universal and they are timeless. That means they will work in Springville, Claxton Bay, where I left 6:30 a.m. this morning to only arrive here at 8 a.m. And they will also work in Australia. Anywhere you use a principle, it will apply. They are also timeless. It will work for our grandfathers and will even work for us. If you're able to take notes or you have your phone out, I want you to write this down. The first principle of unlocking the greatness within you is that you must discover your purpose. Where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. If you don't know the purpose for that chair, and you think it is to put you on that height to paint that wall, you keep standing on that chair, sooner or later, it will be abused beyond the point of its original function. You will no longer be able to sit on it. Why? Because we did not understand its purpose, we abused it. And folks, let me say this to you. If you come into the workplace and you don't understand your purpose, probably somebody who misunderstands it will abuse you. You must know what you can do. You must know what you're good at, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your interests. I always admire a leader who says, I don't know, but I can find the answer for you. It means that person really has a great sense of self-awareness. I think it was Martin Luther King Jr. that says, if a man does not discover what he will die for, then that life is not worth living. If you get up every day, you should get up on purpose. They say people on purpose sometimes forget to eat lunch. Why? Because they are driven by something deeper than themselves. People who live a life of purpose, usually when they die, that purpose outlives them because they see the sense of legacy. I want to encourage you that you should know why you are here. Why on earth are you here? That is the purpose of your life. Secondly, when you know purpose, you have to have passion. Folks, let me say this. I would do this for free all over the world, even though I don't do it for free. But you have to find something that you love to do. I often tell young people, don't pursue money, pursue mission. Money follows mission. If you become good at what you do, the money will find you. You don't have to ask for a raise. I can tell you something. If they don't see your value, somebody else would. One of the common trends in America, I was there for the last 14 years, I'm a returning resident, is that managers will go to restaurants. And they will go to a restaurant down the street, and the very best server in that restaurant, you will always see them recruiting talent. They were never off the job on recruiting talent. And I observed it all the time. Why? Because I can tell you this, sometimes where you are, people may not know your worth and your value, but it's important for you to know your worth and your value. And let me say this, your salary is not a true reflection of your worth. You are worth a whole. As a matter of fact, if the person next to you knew how much you were worth, they will ask you for your autograph right now. Because potential, watch this, is what I could become and I'm not yet. Potential is the things I could do that I have not done as yet. There is so much greatness with you, you just have to obey these principles to unlock it. So you have to get up in life with a passion, with a pep in your step. My dad always used to press me. My dad is a school teacher. My grandfather was a cane farmer. You can't get away from getting up early. Anybody who comes from the country knows that the sun should not meet you. I see we have some more country people here, right? And I hope that is not, I just learned, I hope that that phrase was not discriminatory. It was a compliment to country folk, you know? But folks, you have to get up with a passion. People with passion get an attention in the room. People with passion get people to buy into whatever they're doing. People in passion, when they fall in love with what they do, you feel like you're not actually going to work. Folks, if you know your purpose, then it breeds an authentic, genuine life passion. But I want to say this. Passion with no planning. It will be very hard to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. I think it is, one author says, an unmeasured life is not worth living. Do you have a clear plan as to how you're going to move from where you are to where you're going to be? As a matter of fact, the good book actually says that God himself has plans for you. So if God himself is a planner, you should pattern God and have plans for yourself. When I meet a lot of young people, they sometimes say, Luke, this is what I want to do in life. I say, okay. Do you know anybody who is doing what you want to do? Yes. Have you sat down and talked with them about the lifestyle, about the salary, about how it goes? Get an idea of how this thing is going to look in the future. I said, no. What is your next step? What is your next step out of here? What are your point of references? Who are you talking to in the week? Who are you bouncing your ideas off of? Listen, the plan may not work out the way that you always wanted to do, but it's better that you have a plan, because I can tell you one of the failures of the West Indies team, I used to play for the Trinidad and Tobago under 19 team, and one of the failures is that we waited too long to match the energy of the youth with the wisdom of the age. We played out all our good players until they had no more energy, and then we introduced a bunch of youth onto a field with no experience. Folks, I've learned something in life. Most of my friends have gray hair or no hair. I was going to tell you, look at the person next to you, but I know that might be discriminatory. Do you have a plan for your life? Yes, you got through to me. Okay, now I'm not getting my password. My note should be in my heart, right? So do you have your plan for your life? I need a plan to unlock my phone, right? Okay, there we go. Fourthly, I told you I was going to give you 5. I have 3 more minutes. Fourthly, people. Third, planning was third. Purpose, passion, planning. Fourthly, people. I don't know if it's true, but somebody told me, think of the 5 people you hang out with the most, take an average of their income, and you'll find yours. Folks, let me say this. Some of you calculating right now. Watch this. Look, come on, I only have 2 minutes. Look. You have to hang out with people who have gone beyond you. If you are the best in your circle, you need a new circle. And some of us, I tell you this because I've returned to Trinidad, we need a different attitude towards people who are succeeding around us. Don't get threatened when you see people are succeeding and growing. You have to have the attitude to draw near to success. If you don't have humility, it will be very hard for you to grow. Because when you see somebody succeeding around you, if you have humility, humility says, ask questions. You know what pride says? Pride comes up with all kinds of excuses why that person shouldn't be succeeding the way they do. And what I've always learned in life, my dad taught me, he says, Luke, don't ask for pictures, ask questions. Leave that place with some answers. When you meet somebody, like I just heard the wisdom, sometimes when you see people in success, they don't have to impress anybody. They're just themselves. I'm always learning. I'm always taking notes. So folks, you have to have the right people in your boat. You have to have the right people around you, people that inspire you. And lastly, you have to be persistent. Life is not going to be easy. I tell you, I always use my little home experience. When I was trying to qualify for National Under 14, I went to Press Chagonas. I was 12 years old, and my dad had played for Trinidad, so, there was an expectation that I would also get qualified for the team. And I went there at 12 years old, and I played my heart out, and I didn't make the team. And I was going back home that day. We stopped on the highway. We bought a roast corn. And when we went home, my dad said, take out your pads, set up the stumps. We're going to train. I said, I just came back from a whole day of trials. The next trials is next year. You want me to come and play cricket today? And my dad said this, I never forgot it. Failure is not final. Failure is feedback. Failure is informing you of something that you could change. And we train on a day that they told me no. Weeks after, Theo Coffey discovered me playing wind ball in an indoor center, saw something in me and decided to personally work with me for about 3 weeks. The next year, I didn't go for under 14. I went for under 16. When it was time for me to bat, they brought out all the best bowlers. I said, but what trouble is this? 1 year I wait for this, and they bring out all the best bowlers. In my mind, I thought about it. I said, I'll fail. Then I remember 1 year ago, my dad says, Luke, failure is not final. Failure is feedback. And I remember him telling me, be aggressive, be assertive, be persistent. You trained all year to come to this point. You're not going to walk away with this field without a decision. Folks, I bat my life out. And the next day, we would have seen on the newspaper if you got selected or not. That was the earliest I ever bought a newspaper. 4 o'clock in the morning, we hit Cokie roundabout. Pull out the paper like this. And I search. And right down to the end of the list, Luke Quamina. Folks, I want to say this to you. Discover your God-given purpose. Have passion in life. Get a very clear plan on where you want to be from here, where you're going to be in 1 year, 5 years. Have the right people in your corner and persist until you get to the top, because the bottom is too crowded. Have a great day. God bless you.